Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so as we know, we've already talked about the San Antonio Spurs acquiring Danilo Gallinari and then waiving him. He ended up going to the Celtics. We all know that. Now, the Spurs have $32 million in cap space. Um, that is definitely going to be key because they have been in play, from what I understand, for Russell Westbrook as the third team to a Brooklyn deal, or if we were to do the Pacer deal, it looks like the Spurs want to be the team that lands Russell. So I saw a picture that he had posted earlier today. I think it was probably was today. Someone had posted a snapshot from Instagram where he had showed a picture of him kind of looking like he was wearing a big cowboy hat, and um, it looked like some type of pullover that had like stars on it, um, gray and black spur color, that kind of thing. Real cowboy spur energy, black and white picture. Like the whole thing looked spur to me, and it looks like he's trying to get himself enriched with the spur community. To me, it seems so. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see if the Lakers are close to making something happen. Because now that these type of things are starting to come out, um, the specifics of how it's being, kind of relayed. It seems like it's starting to come together for the Lakers to have Kyrie Irving be acquired very soon. I think it's going to happen very soon. That's basically what I'm telling you guys. The tea leaves are showing me we're not long for this to happen. Obviously, everybody's in summer leagues in Las Vegas for the summer league right now, and as reported, the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers are going to have an opportunity to connect. And now I don't know if that's happening right now or if it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know, but what I'm saying is I don't think it's going to be long before this gets done. The signs are pointing in all directions. The players are starting to be made aware of what fan bases they need to connect with. I think that's what I'm telling you. Kyrie came to the Sparks game last night. Spur, Westbrook, that whole thing. It's like, all right, those pieces are coming together. So that's what it looks like to me. I don't know if that deal is in the works as of yet, but it stands to reason why one would think it could be. Put it like that. So it won't be long now, Laker fans. I don't think it will be. All the signs are pointing on this thing being done probably very soon. So that's what I got to say. That is pretty much it. It wasn't no soliloquy or no monologue on this one. I'm just hearing a lot of talk that's pointing in the direction of this coming together. So um, I think there was something else I wanted to share with you guys in regards to what I just heard in regards to. Yeah, okay. So I was listening to some guys talking Laker basketball, of course. And they were essentially talking about the players that we could be acquiring going forward. Carmelo Anthony is somebody we could bring in. I think they mentioned another veteran of some sort, like Jared Dudley or something like that. And my thing is, look, if you want that type of caliber of player, what we need to focus our mind on, in my opinion, is not necessarily needing them for the beginning of the season, but more so trying to acquire that type of player near the end at the buyout market. Because in the course of during the course of a season, what we want to do, in my opinion, is have players with upside playing our roles, players that we can kind of work into the equation and teach how to be what it is that we want them to be in our system with Darvin Ham. Young players that we can turn into solidified role players as we continue to march forward. I don't think bringing in a vet who's only really good for June and March and April, the end of playoff time, bringing them in at the beginning of the season and asking them to play real roles on this particular team with our specific needs. When you don't have any picks, what you need to do is develop talent. And so that's really what it is. We have a lot of players that we have as upside talent, and I think they should be playing the majority of our bench and garbage time roles. I don't need Carmelo Anthony. I don't need that caliber player at this point because they can't be traded for anything better than them. They cannot have any upside to reacquire talent and assets, and that's ultimately all it's about for us. That's all it's about. So because we're win now, it's tricky because you want to give yourself the best opportunity to win with his most, the most talent that you can find and the best elements to have. Of course, there's some veteran leadership in the back of the bench or somewhere, but in my mind, if I want Jared Dudley and I want that leadership, I get that leadership by adding him to the coaching staff. That's how you do that. You don't have to have them dressing up as players and then asking them to run around out there. No, they don't have to do that. I don't know why Miami hasn't done that with Udonis, but that's none of my business. It's Miami business, and I know how they are. But nevertheless, that's how I feel, man. They could still be present. Hell, you can still have them travel the same way. You can even put them in a uniform, but they don't have to actually take a roster spot. So that is where I'm at. I want us to only have talent that we can reacquire for talent and assets. That's it. Anything else is just us wasting LeBron's time and our very own. And so that's what it is, man. And plus, we're going to have players who are going to carry the heavy load. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and hopefully Kyrie Irving very soon. They're going to be so high usage that it's not going to be much room for guys to really do too much anyway, I think. We're going to have a nice bench unit with some of the players that we already have and believe in. Stanley Johnson and some of our younger guys. Of course, if we're able to keep them. I think Kendrick Nunn will probably still be here if we're not able to move him. Austin Reeves, of course, the rooks that we just picked up, etc. So, it's a lot of bench depth and defensive help and stuff like that. And all we need is our scorers to be scorers, and we got scorers if we're able to accomplish what we're trying to here. So, it'll all fall into place, I believe. But we don't need to necessarily add guys who are going to be hunted defensively, and that's my biggest concern about Carmelo. I know he can help us scoring the ball. I know he can rebound the ball very well. And he looked like he had something left in the tank. But him getting hounded defensively and just them continuing to take advantage of him in that way ultimately just was something that made it so that I don't want to bring him into this particular situation. I'm good. I for what it is that's going to be taken away from us with that aspect of things happening, it's not enough for what he's going to be giving us on the boards and hitting a couple jump shots, stuff like that. It's not enough. So that's a dynamic we don't need, in my humble opinion. Let that be a youngster who can jump out the gym, and if that works for us, we could trade that player for a second round pick or something. That's how you got to play it. And then from there, slowly but surely, while you still got those big time stars running around handling the heavy lifting and some of these high level role players that we're developing now, then you start finding more and more of those high level role players as these years start to progress. Whether Bron stays or not, what you start finding is some of those players will be coming through the organization. We develop them properly, like Caruso, like Austin Reeves, and you look up and you have what you need. You didn't need you got first round picks because you turned some of those players into first round picks. You turned some of those players into second round picks. Turned some of those players into contracts of a 3-year kind, of a 2-year kind, of really good players. So, that's what it's about. But we can't do that. We cannot do that if we're putting veterans on this team and giving them 20 minutes a game and then expecting them to do something. Like, they're not. They're literally not. That is what last year was about. It was about teaching us that. So, youth is the movement, man. Keep it that way for now, and I think we'll win. I do believe we'll win as long as we keep the right elements in place. Now, granted, length is everything. That's why I'm glad we put an emphasis on it. Size, very much everything. We need to keep that in mind. But all in all, the way this thing is built, we'll be able to defend who we need to defend. Thomas Bryant, excellent pickup. I think that's big, And so, as I look at the help that AD has in the front court, that should, in theory, keep him healthy or make it so that he can be more durable this season. So, all of that's cool. Now we just need to find a way to get this deal done, bring Kai in, get him enriched in there with Darvin Ham, and the crew, get him back on the same page with Bron and AD, and get to work, get to absolute work, man, because it's going to be a good season, I think, but it's going to be a very, very, very storied season, I think. They're going to have to deal with all that comes with bringing those two together and being on the Lakers. And so I hope they're, getting their minds ready, because it's going to be a lot of energy coming their way, best believe. Laker fans are excited. We're buzzing already. The NBA circles and everybody who's talking, buzzing already about the possibilities of this team winning a championship. And that's what's on the line. So I think once we get to a point where we believe we're good enough to be that, meaning if our record is where it needs to be by buyout time, I think we'll get some veterans. I think we'll have a guy or two that won't start the season with us who will be in place to really have a big impact in the playoffs. But we got to prove ourselves to be that kind of team. Quite honestly, we haven't been. And there are other teams out there who are constructed in such a way that should be better than us. So that means we have to play well, we got to stay healthy, and we got to have everybody on the same page. So if that happens, I think we have the talent to overachieve, and we'll see what happens. So that's what I got. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.